Today, the stock market, the altcoin markets, and every other market are all going down. And it's very likely that you already know this. This is the reason I'm making the movie today. Eric Trump, who is the son of Donald Trump, has come to visit. He said something, and I think it's pretty important because he said something similar twice now. He was right in the end, and what he said helped a lot of people make a lot of money. That being said, I will get back to that soon. Before I start, I'd like to draw your attention to what Eric Trump has said about how the markets are right now. Please look at these numbers. It's completely out of hand. The US stock market lost $1.1 trillion today. So that everything is fair, the Bitcoin markets are also going through something very similar right now. Think about the fact that you're looking at every market, Bitcoin and XRP. You know they're not up. Here, the value of XRP has dropped by 6%. The price of Bitcoin has dropped by 1.74%, while the price of Ethereum has dropped by about 4%. If you want to use that word, you could say it's like bloody hell. To put it another way, the whole market is a scary shade of red. In addition to this, we are seeing some very strange things happen by Indian leaders that I think are making the situation worse. A lot of people will want to know why the stock market in the US and the altcoin markets are losing so much money. In fact, the answer is pretty easy to figure out. It was talked about in the movie I posted the day before. When I said that, I meant that Trump has sent subs to the area around Russia. I advised that it was most likely a black swan event, and now we can see what that really means. If you remember what I said it was likely. It has finally started to have an effect on the markets. It's not unusual for there to be big drops when people are worried about a big argument. I think that right now is a great time to buy the drop. These are the ways I see it, no matter what. From my point of view, this is a chance, and I'm going to make the most of it now that it's here. It turns out that the submarine incident between the US and Russia is speeding up other events as well. The first problem is that Indian officials just said they are going to buy oil from Russia, even though President Trump doesn't agree with this choice. Therefore, it is very likely that Trump will become even more angry, which could lead to India having to pay more taxes. I believe that we should also keep a close eye out for it. People are more likely to make choices like these when they start to feel these kinds of emotions and when they get angry about certain things. It's very likely that Trump will respond to this because, well, he doesn't want Russia to feel safer doing the things they are doing now. He wants the war between Russia and Ukraine to end for good. He is therefore going to act in line with his own views. Yes, also the replacements play a role in that, based on the information we are getting from India right now. It seems to me that more fees or maybe even limits could be put in place. Because of this, it's very likely that one more time, the markets will respond to that. In any case, I think this is a great chance. We can also see that things are getting worse all over the world. In fact, China's real estate market is getting worse and worse, which is very worrying. As you can see from the graph, sales of new homes by China's 100 biggest builders dropped by 24% in July. This was the biggest drop in sales in the last 10 months. Another thing is that sales dropped by 38% from one month to the next. This was the biggest drop in a single month this year. June was the last month that prices for new homes dropped the most in 8 months. This is the newest news. But the need for new homes in towns is expected to stay 75% lower than it was in 2017, when it was at its best. Does this matter need to be talked about? Okay, right now, China is in a really tough position. The price has gone down. The problems they are having are getting worse, even though they have made a lot of money. Both the value of their things and the size of their house sales are going down very quickly. The prices of goods and services are going down, which some people might see as a good thing. People who think prices will keep going down, on the other hand, destroy the economy because they don't see any reason to buy something that no one else does. The same thought keeps coming to their minds since prices keep going down. When this keeps happening, it's terrible for businesses, and they fail because they can't make any money. With this in mind, I do believe that what Kibosu wrote in his letter about the situation in China in 2008 is happening now. There are a lot of problems that people in China are facing right now that people in the US were facing in 2008. The US isn't going through this because they already know what a mistake they made. The lesson China is about to learn, though, will be very bad. And I'm sure that what's happening here will affect people all over the world. No joke, China, which has the second biggest economy in the world, has a lot of industries that make things. It is natural that people will feel the effects of what is going on here, which has a huge effect on all of their businesses. In Eric Trump's opinion, the best time to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum is when their prices are cheaper. The smartest thing to do right now, in my opinion, would be to buy XRP when its price goes down. The first thing I want to talk about is the most recent time Eric Trump made a comment like this in public. I will soon tell you why. This is something that Eric Trump said a very long time ago. It seems likely that he said that sometime in February, March, or April. A lot of what he said was pretty much the same. He said what he thought. I believe that you should buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of these other things when they go down. At the time he said this, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and many other cryptocurrency had just hit all-time highs in January and were now drastically falling in value. He then said, "Yeah, I think now is a good time to buy." At the time, it was either May or 2 or 3 months later. In June or July. Then he said, "Hey, I told you because Bitcoin and Ethereum are all setting new records for value." This is what he said was the reason. He is repeating himself right now. A lot of people think this could mean that things will go back to the way they were before, the way they did before. Of course, some people say, well, you'll just be his exit liquidity because of World Liberty Financial. Note that World Liberty Financial has not yet stopped selling its shares. They will not do so until they start to act in that way. Without a doubt, I don't think we need to worry about how slippery the exit is. To be able to fully understand what they're doing is important to me. But let me know what you think, and I'll get back to you. Are you sure that you agree with what Eric Trump said? Is there a chance that he is really trying to help these people? Do you think that something else is going on? Please feel free to tell me what you think in the place below. Right now, he is adding his 2 cents, which I think is really cool. I'm going to talk about my thoughts soon because I need to tell you some pretty important things. But first, I have some great news to share with you. Kugler, who used to be governor of the Federal Reserve, has quit his job on the Federal Reserve's board of directors. This Federal Reserve board member did not want interest rates to go down. It is true that Trump has already said in a speech that he plans to replace her with someone who will get rates lowered. Is this something he plans to do? In other words, the more people who quit their jobs because they didn't want rates to go down,